Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm giving you guys an interesting bit of news. This is coming to us from Screen Rant. I know that on its own has probably already lost your attention. In fact, you guys probably already clicked off this video um, since you heard the name Screen Rant. But stick around. Okay, if you're still here, stick around because I think this is going to be very interesting. Now, before we get into the actual article and before I give you guys my thoughts, as always, I do have to remind you that if you like my content, if you want to support my content, please consider to like, share, and more importantly, subscribe. And if you do subscribe, remember to click on the bell icon to let you know every single time a new video goes up. And that's even more important now because a lot of people have been saying that they are not getting notifications from their YouTubers, and they usually find their videos like it doesn't show up on their feed. So just please remember to click on the bell icon and check YouTube. Like if you miss any of my videos, please remember to constantly check your feed because for all you know, I posted a new video and you probably just didn't get the notification that a new video has gone up. So just remember all of that, and also stick around to the end because I do have something I need to tell you guys. Now, that can wait. Let's get into the actual article. So Mark Hamill felt like real Luke Skywalker in Star Wars 9, says Daisy Ridley. Now look, we all know that the Luke Skywalker we got in The Last Jedi was not Luke Skywalker. It wasn't. He was cynical, he was bitter, he hated everything. He went to that island to die, and that just it wasn't Luke Skywalker. I'm sorry, it wasn't. Okay, I don't care what excuse you try to come up with. It wasn't Luke Skywalker. It wasn't. And any Star Wars fan looked at who Mark Hamill was playing, and they knew that wasn't Luke Skywalker. Whatever character he was playing, it wasn't Luke. It was Jake Skywalker. We all know that. There's a reason why we call him Jake Skywalker, is because it's not Luke Skywalker. So let's get, and now even Daisy Ridley, the star of the sequel trilogy, or no, not the sequel trilogy, the Disney trilogy, is even saying this. Daisy Ridley says it was nice for Mark Hamill to play the Luke of old during his Force Ghost scene in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Daisy Ridley says Mark Hamill felt like the real Luke Skywalker in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Luke's arc in the sequel trilogy was one of the most divisive elements of the new films. The optimistic and idealistic hero of the original trilogy had become a jaded cynic who went into self-imposed isolation, believing the galaxy would be a better place without him or the Jedi involved in the fight. Some felt this creative choice was bold and daring, while others said it ruined the character and the franchise. Even Hamill himself had reservations about the way Luke was portrayed in The Last Jedi, though he later regretted making those thoughts public. No, he didn't. He didn't regret making those thoughts public. He was basically told by Disney, hey, you need to stop that. Okay, if you want our check, you need to stop this, okay? And look, at the end of the day, it's sad, but that's what it turned into for Mark at the end of the day. It turned into a paycheck. Mark used to be someone who loved playing Luke Skywalker, and now they took Luke Skywalker and they basically turned it into just another paycheck for him. Like, this is how you know Lucasfilm has seriously screwed up. Though probably, look, we all love Han Solo, we all love Princess Leia. But you have to admit, out of the three, Mark Hamill's probably the only one who genuinely enjoyed playing Luke Skywalker. Like, everyone knew that. He genuinely loved playing Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill was the only one, and you killed that. Harrison Ford has made it clear that he is not a fan of Han Solo. Everyone knows that he wanted him to die in Return of the Jedi. And a lot of people, like, I think he even said, like, I could be wrong, but didn't he also say in an interview, like, he said that the only reason he would come back is if his character died, so that's why, like, Han Solo died in The Force Awakens? Okay, Hamill returned to play Luke one last time in The Rise of Skywalker, appearing as a Force ghost. There's a notable shift in his attitude during his interaction with Rey when compared to The Last Jedi. The sequence plays a role reversal for the two, with Luke talking Rey out of living in exile and encouraging her to embrace her destiny. And in all honesty, that should have been the Luke we got in The Last Jedi. That should have been Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Someone who talks to Rey and encourages her that she needs to embrace her destiny just like he did back in the original trilogy. Or he even encouraged Vader to embrace his destiny of being the chosen one and finally destroying Palpatine. But no, instead we got a jaded old man who just told her to get off his lawn. It's just screw you, Lucasfilm. Luke's changed outlook on life wasn't lost on those who were making the film, and Ridley felt that must have been good for Hamill. The making of documentary included on the Rise of Skywalker home media release includes a segment about Hamill's return. Ridley discusses how Luke is more reminiscent of the upbeat original trilogy protagonist in the Rise of Skywalker. Check out her interesting quote on the matter in the space below. It was probably nice for Mark to be more like the Luke of old, which I think JJ felt like he really wanted that. It was nice to feel, and even in the scene, to feel really comforted like that. Takes a big sigh of relief. Luke Skywalker is here. And again, remind me why we didn't get that in The Last Jedi. I'm sorry, but out of all the people you could have given The Last Jedi to, why the hell did you give it to Rian Johnson? Why Rian Johnson? I mean, what did he do to say, you know what, this guy, I want this guy? Like, look at all the movies he made before. Okay, what did he make? Like, honestly, before The Last Jedi, I didn't even know who Rian Johnson who Rian Johnson was. I mean, I heard of Looper. People kept talking about Looper. Yeah, I've heard about Looper. I never actually saw it, and in all honesty, I didn't even know that Rian Johnson was the one who directed it. And honestly, when you go back and look at his movies, you realize that his style just didn't fit Star Wars. I'm sorry, but it just didn't. So what was it about Rian Johnson that Kathleen Kennedy went ahead and said, yeah, you're the guy. You're the guy. What was it? Considering Hamill's past thoughts on The Last Jedi, it's fascinating to hear Ridley talk about the Rise of Skywalker scene in this manner. Some may interpret Ridley's comments as a marked rebuttal against what The Last Jedi was going for, going out of her way to praise the Rise of Skywalker for depicting a more heroic Luke. However, it's worth mentioning Rise of Skywalker director J.J. Abrams downplayed the notion he was criticizing Last Jedi's Luke in his film, publicly admiring Rian Johnson's decision to give Luke an arc in Last Jedi that he could build off of. Additionally, in the same documentary segment, there's a soundbite from Hamill where he talks about Star Wars' theme of redemption and how it's important to know that even a Jedi make mistakes and can bounce back from them. So it would appear Hamill is at peace with Luke's trajectory in the sequel trilogy now that he knows the full story. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, he isn't. Nobody's happy about what they did with Luke in the sequel trilogy, and looking back on it, it was probably better for them to just leave him out of it. You know, they could have just set the story like centuries in the future, and just okay, you could have had Daisy Ridley, you could have had John Boyega, you could have had all of these new actors, Oscar Isaacs, you could have had all of these newer actors, and just left the characters that we knew where they were. And if you really wanted to continue their story, you could have done that in books and comics, maybe even a video game or two, and that's it. That's you could have just left it alone. If you really wanted if you really wanted your version of the expanded universe, then that's what you could have done. You could have done it in books, comics, video games, whatever. I would have preferred video games, if I'm being honest. Like being able to play as a story that involves Luke would have been pretty damn good. But now, considering what they did with Luke, I don't want that. I don't want this Luke. I want the original Luke. I want the original expanded universe Luke. That's the Luke Skywalker we all want. That's the real Luke Skywalker, not this. Whatever they did here, it's just, that's not Luke. I'm sorry, but it isn't. And I don't think Mark Hamill's actually happy about this. I don't. I'm sorry. Like, after what they did to his character in The Last Jedi, there's no way he can be happy. It would have been strange if Luke was still grouchy and pessimistic in The Rise of Skywalker. His portrayal in the trilogy's conclusion reads as a natural continuation from where he left off in The Last Jedi. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Having learned a valuable lesson, he made sure Rey didn't repeat the same mistakes as him, using his personal failure as a learning tool for his young student. What student? He didn't teach her anything. She's not a student. There admittedly are some issues with the Luke scene in The Rise of Skywalker, namely the excellent plot hole that required explanation in the novelization, but Skywalker's point of view was not one of them. For all Star Wars fans, it was nice to see the Luke of old take the screen one final time. Again, no, I'm sorry, but it's just, I didn't feel anything. Maybe it was different for some of you guys, but for me, it just I didn't feel anything when I saw Luke. I mean, originally when I saw it, like I wanted to be happy. I wanted to be happy because like looking at him on screen and listening to what he's saying. Yes, this sounds like the old Luke, but it doesn't feel like I'm looking at the same Luke from the original trilogy. It's just it feels fake. It feels hollow. See, this is why Disney look. I feel like the only way for them to fix this is to say, look, and I know this might be a bit of an insult towards the newer actors that you brought in, but I think it would be best if Lucasfilm just said, look, we're decanonizing um, what the sequel trilogy and all of the comics and the books that we release that it's a part of the new Disney canon, and just say, okay, look, that's an alternate timeline, and then recanonize the expanded universe. Stop calling it Legends anymore, and just call it what it originally was. It was the expanded universe. Recanonize that, and decanonize this new Disney canon, and then go out there and say, look, we tried to do things our way. It was a mistake. We see that now. We're sorry. We're bringing back the expanded universe, and we're gonna go ahead with all of the stories that were originally planned for the expanded universe, but got canceled because they chose to decanonize it. Because I heard that there were stories planned, that there were still stories that they hardly had planned, but they had to cancel them because they decanonized the expanded universe. So maybe if they recanonize it, they can go back to making those stories again, making stories that with characters that people actually like, not this crap. But anyway, that's all I have to say on this. Those are my thoughts on this article that we just read. But as always, I will ask you guys to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know all of it in the comment section down below. Whether you like whether you like this, whether you hated it. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you agree with what Daisy Ridley said? Do you disagree? Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. And before I go, I told you guys I had something to say. That I had something I needed to tell you guys, and that is this. By the time you watch this video, I will have already purchased my copy of the Final Fantasy VII Remake game, and I'll be streaming it over on my Twitch channel. And so, by the time you see this, hopefully I will have already gotten the game, and you can head on over to my Twitch channel, which I'll leave a link to in the description box down below, and head on over there, follow me, and just come hang out, and you can watch me just play the game, and you can even ask me some questions if you want, and I'll try to make some time during the stream to answer your questions. So with all that being said, if you watched up until this point, you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support. And again, I do have to say to like, share, and most importantly subscribe. Help me get this channel to 1,000 subs so I can monetize this channel, and then I can take all the money that I earned and put it back into this channel so you guys can get some better, more higher quality entertainment. Thank you so much for watching again, and please join me on my next one. Bye.